Incarnons, the greatest type of weapons in Warframe. For going to a pea shooter hitting headshots, a most of the time good melee weapon with a lot of combo duration, and an already great weapon to an even better one. Incarnon Genesis makes every normal weapon better. However, in this case with a Torid, it takes an already good weapon to a great weapon. So great that people don't like it because it's too easy, according to the comments on my most recent YouTube short about the Torid. As I've mentioned before, Incarnons are one of, if not the best group of weapons in Warframe. Out of this group, I believe the Torid Incarnon is the best, which then makes it the best weapon in Warframe, according to me. Now in one of my most recent YouTube shorts, I talked briefly about this weapon. In this video, I will talk about how you get this weapon, how it works, a look at my not perfect build, and why I believe it is the greatest. You can only get the Torid Incarnon in the Steel Path version of the circuit. The circuit, if you don't know, is a part of the Duveri Paradox. If you have not completed the Duveri Paradox quest, then you will not have access to this. So make sure you complete that and then you can do the circuit. The circuit gives you many rewards, picking two main ones in the Steel Path. You can pick from 5 Incarnons, some Veiled Rivens, and Kuva. This resets every week, so the Torid Incarnon is not a part of these Incarnons, then you'll have to wait another week. However, the Incarnon weapons are really good, so I would try to collect them all if you can. You'll need some resources once you get this Incarnon, with this reward technically being an Incarnon Genesis, as this isn't actually a weapon yet. Some of the resources needed will be from the Duveri. You can get some resources in the Duveri experience by doing side missions, doing the Undercroft, and just completing both the Duveri experience and the Lone Story. Those two that I just mentioned are 2 of the 3 missions in the Duveri, with the circuit being the 3rd. So the circuit is the only way to get Incarnon weapons, right? Well, kind of. You can purchase some of them with Cavallero, but I don't think it's worth it. I know the Steel Path circuit may be challenging, but it is worth it. At least try to go for reward 5, which would be your first Incarnon. Plus, it's a lot easier in public lobby, so make sure you're in one. Any questions? No? Good. Let's move on. I'm just kidding. But if you have any questions, make sure you leave a comment and I will get to it as quickly as I can. I believe this explains what the circuit's about, so let me quickly tell you how it works. You will have 3 to 5 frames to choose from, as well as 4 to 8 weapon choices. You will have 3 frames and 4 weapons as soon as you start. However, you will likely get 2 more weapons almost right away, as it only requires rank 2 in the Opportunity intrinsics for you to get 2 more weapons. Opportunity is what you will want to focus on first, if you want to get everything you can for the circuit. Obviously, try to upgrade the other ones as you go, but Opportunity will be the best one for you, especially when it comes to the Undercroft. You can see which frames and weapons will be there for you before you enter. If you go into the very section of your navigation, you can hover over the frame and weapon icon before you load into any of the 3 Duveri missions. Then you can pick your frame and weapon and enter the Undercroft. This is what you'll be in throughout the whole mission. The circuit is just the Undercroft, except it is repeated until you choose to extract, similar to a defense mission. Now before I move on, let me say the type of missions that are in the circuit so you know what to expect. The type of missions the circuit has are Void Flood, Defense, Survival, Exterminate, Assassination, Alchemy, and Excavation. Now how does a Torid or any Incarnon weapon work? With all the Incarnon weapons, well just secondary and primary, you have to charge them up. But before I get ahead of myself, we have to get the first evolution and how we even attach this to the Torid. Like I said in the beginning, this is technically an Incarnon Genesis, meaning it's the Incarnon without the weapon. You have to attach it to the weapon, which can be done with Cavallero at the Chrysalith, and you'll need some resources. Some from the Duveri and some that are not from the Duveri, but you should know how to farm it, or at least have enough of it by the time you can do these missions. So now you have it attached, but you have to get the first evolution. This is always you just killing enemies, that's it. Kill 100 enemies with that weapon and boom, you just unlock the evolution of the Incarnon, the reason we like Incarnons. Now you can have a beam from the Torid, or grenades from the Atomos, but we're focusing on the Torid, so you'll now have an overpowered beam. The Torid works like this: you shoot enemies, and if they take damage from your blob of status, then it charges up your bar. I don't know what technically charges it up, but if I hit an enemy directly, that seems to work better. But it can take damage from the cloud of status from your blob of status. That can charge it up too. Thankfully, you don't need headshots from this to charge it, at least I don't think so, since that would be annoying. Once you charge the beam up fully, you'll know because it glows and has a nice little sound to it. You can activate it by using whatever your button is to activate the alt fire on weapons, and there you have it. Incarnon version is activated. Then you have a certain amount of ammo until it goes back to the normal version. And something you may care to know, but you shouldn't do, is you can have the Torid charge up a bit, but not all the way, and still activate the alt mode. You can also change it back to the normal mode whenever you like while you're in the alt or Incarnon mode. Now be prepared. Strap yourself into the seat you're in because this build may blow you away. Ready? Here it is. Now in no way am I great at building. I was just being sarcastic there. There's a reason I don't make build videos. It takes so much time and so much forma and the build isn't just about the weapon half the time. There's always a frame involved, another weapon, or something else. I'm going to keep it basic, so here are my evolutions. I have this one which gives added damage and takes ammo directly from the capacity instead of the mag. The next one, for evolution 3, is just added projectile speed. This one I feel like you can change, I don't think it matters that much. And then finally I have the critical chance increased by 20% on the last evolution. You could swap this out for the 10-10 status and crit, but that just matters on how you went about modding. Now, I personally like the Blast Torid. I added some corrosive on here as well just to help it out. I feel like it fits nicely. I've tried to tune up my build. I have a decent amount of crit on here as well as status and damage. You can swap the damage multiplier for a specific fraction like I have here for the Corrupted out for just a normal serration, which is just plain old damage. The most important thing to me is this arcane, which if you could have guessed isn't full, because again it takes a long time. To farm Steel Path missions and try and get this one specifically, it's just a pain in my ass, so don't come at me. This Arcane Merciless gives you an increase in damage for a certain duration, which can stack 12 times. This is very powerful as you upgrade the damage per stack will increase. You can swap this out for Arcane Deadhead. This gives a damage increase when you get a headshot. This can be stacked 3 times. Again, this damage increase will go up as you upgrade. This one, however, isn't great for the Torid, as you can easily get at least a few kills without the Arcane activating, since it requires you to get headshots, which is a bit difficult with this weapon. They also give the same increase in damage, 360% at the max. So Arcane Merciless is the one to go for. You can only get these from the Steel Path when you kill the Stalker clones. They have a specific name, but this way of describing them is easier on me, so I don't embarrass myself, and on you since it makes sense. Now again, not a great build, but it still melts Steel Path, which should show how great it is for the normal Warframe person, Tenno, Warframer, whatever. I like to use Zephyr Prime, or just Zephyr, with the Roar helmet in her first ability. I know I just talked about others using the frame, but cut me some slack. I think it helps the Torid, but it definitely doesn't make the Torid what it is. This just makes the Torid have an even larger increase in damage, plus you can survive easily with Zephyr. And you can spawn some tornadoes that work really well in my opinion. Plus, Zephyr has a really good passive that I'll get into in a bit. Anywho, Zephyr with any helmet that increases weapon damage works really well with the Torid, or any weapon. Zephyr's third ability allows you to not get hit by projectiles. Basically, you can only take damage from Eximus units that use their special ability, or by melee hits. As long as you stay away from these, you won't take any damage. Then the tornadoes. These work very well with the Torid. Not only can you hit one tornado and charge up your Torid, but it also works really well when you're trying to kill enemies. They all group up and you can just see red. The tornadoes are very satisfying. And speaking of red crit, Zephyr's passive. This is very strong, adding 150% critical chance when you're airborne. So like you're seeing here, if you just float or jump around, you can see much more red crit. So keep this passive in mind when you're using her. You can have your tornadoes roam or have all 3 stand still. I prefer them to stand still, which you'd have to hold the ability down. I prefer this because it puts enemies in the middle of the 3 tornadoes and has a good suck radius, at least with my build on her. My build on her isn't anything special, but here you go. Pause it there if you want to copy it, but pairing this with the blast from the Torid, plus the crit, plus the status just makes you melt anything. Taking this Zephyr and Torid through Steel Path can make it feel like you're facing level 20 enemies. It's just so easy. Now I know I mentioned it while talking about the build, but the Torid is just so nice. You can easily charge it up, it can deal great damage even outside of the Incarnon ult, and it's just fun to use in my opinion. Again, I know I showed the YouTube short comments and they don't think so, but again, my opinion. I get it where people say it's boring, but all weapons are pretty boring. It's satisfying to get these kills from the Torid beam, to get 20 kills in a row, seeing all of them have red crit with a ton of damage. It's satisfying. Now, again, in my opinion, the only people who say this isn't fun have too much time into the game. Now that's not me coming at you and saying get a life, touch grass or something, whatever. But a lot of people are far away from ever having this type of weapon to easily complete Steel Path. People are struggling with quests or certain planets in the normal star chart. So stop saying, oh, it's too easy, because other people would really like it to be easier. So shut up. You can always test things out with a Torid. Try different statuses and different evolutions. Try a bunch of frames out with the weapon, stuff like that. The Torid may likely be nerfed because DE only allows us to have fun for a little bit, so get this as soon as you can. I hope this could show some of you why I like the Torid and how useful it can be. I also hope I was able to put some comedic effect to a plain old Warframe video. Now once you get the Torid, the Incarnon version, and you get mods like I've shown, you will be able to farm Steel Path no problem. Obviously going for those arcanes first so you can really make the Torid great. I really like the Torid paired with Zephyr, so give it a shot and let me know what you thought about it. If you have any other frames that you think would pair well with it, let me know, as well as any comments you have about this video or my weapon. But if it's a comment about my build, I probably won't answer it. I know it's not great. Now with all of that said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.